Thank you very much, everyone, for joining this book launch event. And to those who will watch later, thank you for taking the time to enjoy this amazing event. From my opinion, and I'm biased because I edited the book. And for some of you who don't know, I started the Spiritual Inspire podcast in April 2024. So 5 years in the making, and 216 interviews up to now. And I had the privilege to interview amazing guests, amazing human beings, empaths, naturopaths, nutritionists, shamans, breath work masters, theta specialists, NLP, you name it. So some of my subscribers ask me, why don't you create a book that will capture some of these interviews in a book format? Will be much easier for those who don't want to spend the time to listen to your podcast. So I put some thought into it, and I decided to create a trilogy. And the first one, as you can see, alternative methods of healing. We are talking about energy healing, sound healing, NLP, theta healing. We talk about what should go in our bodies in terms of thoughts and food. The second book will be called, or around that, around these subjects, psychology, channeling, and mediumship. And then the third one will be around shamanism and sacred plant medicine. So for the first book, it was very hard for me to make a selection. In fact, I was talking and debating with Mr. Christopher Douglas, the publisher, who will stay in, who will go out. And because the book was getting very, very fat, like 500 pages, we had to make some drastic adjustments. And now the creme de la creme is in this book, and some of you are here tonight. And it gives me real pleasure to introduce you. But first of all, I would like to introduce Mr. Douglas, because he is behind the Everly Books. He agreed to take on this project, and I am really thankful and grateful for his effort, and trusting that this initiative it goes or opens up a new avenue for Everly Books. Chris, if you want to give us a quick...
I say hello to everybody. It's a pleasure to meet you. I apologize for my voice if it's going down the hill just a bit, but I've had a long day with it. Anyway, yeah, the book is, to me, is very attractive. The idea was absolutely fantastic because it goes into a series that it's a compilation. First of all, say all the interviews are there, and interviews in text raises a lot of interest in readers because it gives back all that live stuff. It's taken the life form of itself. That's very interesting. It's a collection, a treasury of this compendium of everything. So that's not to mention that the authors are very interesting themselves. So the interviews are really nice. So that's the idea behind why we took it on the series, and I think it's going to be very good for people. In fact, today we put out a press wire, a submitted book release to over 3,000 media outlets. And that includes the biggest out there, talking about Fox News, the Google News, the ABC, and all that. We do have also our own television and radio, Red FM radio for England, with Black Country, where our partner Lee Benson is the host. We have an hour there. We could present the book everywhere, so it's going all over the world, actually. And right now, we went over 3,000 outlets only in the United States and England. We could choose 2 countries at a time because it's a lot of volume. And they do reprints. It's an agency, of course. We work with 2 agencies. and they do reprints and they send to everybody. So tomorrow you'll have it. Claudiu could send it to you. I'll send it to him, and he'll spread it all around. But he'll send you the links and all that. There's so many of them. So I'm interested in this print because first of all, the title is very attractive. In today's zeitgeist of happening, I can put it that way. A lot of people are interested, and Claudiu put it very carefully on top. It says that right on top, he's got his program, the spiritually inspired, right? So that's a stamp for one to see. I think it is attractive for many reasons, and you don't have many of these titles out there. There are many of something touching the subject, and I'm sure that of course you publish all over the place, and you have your own books putting out, but not a compendium of something like this. It's so interesting because once you read this and you open the book, you see that you're reliving the actual interviews. So it sends the direct message of a live thing in print. That's very interesting. So that's one of the reasons that I've gotten into encouraging Claudiu, who's a wonderful writer. By the way, he's got a dozen of books out there that he wrote himself, and all of them are some of them translated in different languages. And I went along with this, and I think that it's a wonderful idea. And that's my short synopsis of how I think about this. And it stands in the to underline. It stands in the idea of the pioneering, actually, of something new. I haven't seen myself. Maybe I'm not in the niche of having this type of genre, but I haven't seen many of this of many types of this compilation, because this becomes a collection. Actually, it's a collector's item. So the trilogy that Claudiu was talking about, the series, could easily become a collector's item, because once the and hopefully it's going to stay for long, but if the video or audio gets lost or anything, and people like to touch things. So we have electronic stuff, and we have the tablets, and we like to touch the actual book. It holds the 400 and some pages, and that's a treasure to hold. You really feel that life was there. Those things happen. Those things, once you read them, you're right in there, and you write, going to the interviews again. And there's not only the interviews, there's the subject. The subjects are all so different. Interesting, very interesting. If you look back to the 1800s, people may look at one of the ideas like this and say, it's we're going to go to read the whole thing. And now once they read it, it opens the doors actually to, and it's a good advertising for absolutely everybody. All the authors that participated. There's some fantastic advertising for that. So in 1804, because I was actually looking to see if anyone else was doing the same thing, to do some bit of research and go back to Allan Kardec. I don't know if most of the people would not know, but most of the people would probably not know the name, but he was a French writer, a mathematician, and the first that produced a book of spirits. So he was a pioneer, and actually opened the door into all this. So this falls in, because you have, as I'm looking here, you have so many. Where is it? So you have the knowledge healers, energy workers. Talk about energy is we are in the age of people going into spirituality more and more, and holistic practices, and into energy. They look for energy to heal themselves. They look for ways to read about it and to get the alternative medication, a spiritual medication, where they could feel better than they already are. We're infected with foods, and the air is infected and all that. So many things are happening that we don't like to talk about. So that's why the book is interesting. That's why the book was very appealing to the readers, and the subject inside every one of the interviews in this book. The transcript is there, but every one of them is so different. So it's touching different points that it's just taken. It reads like a novel, and it reads like a maybe a esoteric type of. It reads very well, and the readers read it for something like this. This is why we went for the print.
Thank you, Chris.
Not, but yeah. So in short, that's what I think about this.
Thank you very much. And I will take a
Lovely
minute
book.
to
It's a lovely book.
read the names for those who will listen later on to this recording. So Dr. Bruce Lipton, biologist; Kimba Arem, biologist and musician; Alba Weinman, hypnotherapist; Sarah Thomas, crystal healing practitioner; Christian Minson, who is with us tonight, breathwork expert; Dr. Jason Loken, naturopathic doctor; Heather Ivany, Akashic Records expert; Peter Benson, engineer, energy healer; Chelsea Schreiner, she's with us tonight, holistic wellness expert; Karen Abrams, Theta healing expert; Dr. Katie Deming, integrated oncologist. So she left a high-paid oncologist business, a position in US to start something holistic. Philip Monrose, holistic EFT expert; Susanna Kennedy, energy healer; Julian Ann Evans, energy healer; Art Geiser, NLP expert; Fran Bailey, energy healer. She's amazing. Jasmine Hin, energy and dark room healer; Dr. Olga Radochai, energy and sound healer; Bree Greenberg, addiction expert; Gabriela Cassinano, introvert coach; and last but not least, Zachary Feder, multidisciplinary healer, and he has an amazing story to tell. So as you heard, the subjects are diverse, they complement each other. The interviews are interesting, as Chris mentioned, they flow. It was a real pleasure for me to relive those discussions and get that feeling that there is some meat on the bones. People will really benefit from this type of discussions. So Chelsea, I would love to give you the mic first and say a little bit about yourself, as you are part of the book, so everyone will hear from you.
Sure, I'd love to. Thank you. So, yeah, my name is Chelsea, and I was a naturopathic doctor for nearly a decade, licensed naturopathic doctor in Canada, Ontario. And I just was on this journey where I increasingly did not fit in to that naturopathic box. And especially as, the time that you interviewed me was, in the 2020 era, I will say. So there was a lot more restrictions and different things that came about that just really pushed me to lean into my other gifts, which are I get psychic visions. I can, when I sit with someone and they tell me, their health issue or some block that's going on in their life, I can see sort of a hologram of the body energetically, where that information is sitting in the body. If there's, for example, past life information attached to that, if there's emotional information, what kind of physical imprints are there? This is so far beyond where my naturopathic career led me to initially. And the more I lean in and trust my own intuition, and the more I realize that everybody is really fully unique, which is something we talked about. There's no cookie cutter way to approach health. It's so unique and individual to our energetic blueprint or physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, psychological, you know? So that's really what I dive into every day with my clients, and it evolves every day. And I love that.
Yes, beautiful. And we talk about the restrictions you had and other professionals like yourself have these days, and they have to choose a different path. Some of them, like Jason Loken, he created a private membership association. Everyone pays one-time fee, $1, and then he treats them any way he fits, their profile. So no one can touch him. The government can come after him. So that's one way to circumvent these type of restrictions.
Yeah, for sure. We have to get creative and follow our own heart's desires, right? As
Yes.
we evolve with the times.
Yes, and full disclosure, at one point you treated our entire family, so we are your patients. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Christian, do you want to turn on your camera and tell us about yourself? You are well known all over the world, and a month ago you finished another workshop with Greg Braden.
Yes, so my name is Christian Minson. I've been a breath worker and a holistic coach for the last 18 years. Prior to that, I was a monk for 10 years of my life in a spiritual order, working with meditation techniques on average of about 4.5 hours each day. I mentioned that in the context of myself as a breath worker, because that was the meditation techniques, when it really boiled down to it, were modified breathing techniques. We manipulated the breath to bring energy up and down the spine in order to let go of body consciousness and attain these higher states of awareness that meditation promises. So all in all, I've had about 28 plus years experience working with the breath in some way, shape, or form to bring healing to people on physical, emotional, and ultimately spiritual levels. The breath work was introduced to me at near the end of my tenure as a monk, and it really helped open my own relationship to my emotions, which were largely not present. Me being a military brat, a kid who grew up in a family with my father in the military. And there's one thing about emotions in the military: they are more of a liability than they are an asset. So they were largely ignored in my life, and that created a lot of discombobulation, let's say. And that's largely what I deal with people in their lives today. The clients that I see are working to release old emotional trauma or things that haven't fully integrated from the past, but really all in an effort to bring their lives online to the state of really using their energy towards their highest dreams and aspirations. So, my mission isn't just to help people heal, but help people actually get in alignment with their life purpose and their deepest passions, which, interestingly, the breath is the foundation pretty much of any aspect of life and healing we want to go into. And as we start to explore it more, you can see how that statement holds up.
Christian, thank you.
That's me in a nutshell.
Thank you. And Christian's beautiful story is in the book. He also mentions his life story at Rhythmia, which is an amazing retreat in Costa Rica. So you're going to read about all this in the book. It's not just the 10-year period as a monk, but the journey continues in other ventures, in other venues. And as I mentioned, now he's an integral part of Greg Brader's workshops.
Yeah, I met Greg Braden at Rhythmia back in 2019. And so we've been working together ever since. I particularly work with him in a program he puts on called Pure Human Breakthrough. So it's a 4-day event that includes breathwork on day 2 and day 3 as an experiential component. And that that's been my favorite collaboration since starting my career. So I'm very excited about that. And there'll be a couple more dates on the calendar this year and a few more already for the next year.
Beautiful. So now I will open the floor to questions. If anyone from the attendees have want to ask any question, either to Chelsea and Christian, please do so, and they will be more than happy to answer them. So Chelsea, I will start with a question for you. Are you going to add any tools to your energetic toolbox this year or the next? Are you going to different directions, or are you going to stick to what you are mastering right now?
I'm always evolving every single day, every single client. When I remember when I was as a naturopathic doctor sitting there with my patient on one side, me on the other, sitting with them. And it's funny, as I mentioned that, I can see an image of we used to have desks and like more separation. And then as I got more and more leaning into my intuition, our chairs would come closer and it's like we would become one unit speaking with each other. And I would literally listen and hear the guidance in my head. So I either will hear things or get the impression of a word, something I should say to that person across from me to open things up for them. And I literally just follow that voice and that intuition. So every single client I have a blank slate, like God, universe, divine. I have no expectations. Just lead me in this. And whatever is to come through, let it come through. It blows my mind every single day. I'm literally changing my toolbox every single day. Like last week, I was channeling a higher guidance of like before you incarnate. I'm like, okay, this is cool. The next week, I'm like channeling like stuff about, you know, their own gifts, and then we're going more into body stuff, and I'm bringing more of the naturopathic stuff in. Like it's always changing and evolving, and I love that.
Nice, beautiful, thank you. And Christian, for you, do you think that in today's time, people are opening up more to the importance of breath work, not just regular shallow breathing, but as you said, as a tool to help them heal?
Most definitely. I think, and I believe, I honestly believe that Rhythmia and my participation in Rhythmia, which was to set up their breathwork program there, and then I ran it as the director for 3 years before COVID hit. They're really foundational in people coming, largely, 80 people a week would come in. The vast majority of them had never experienced breathwork before, and they always left with a huge enthusiasm for wanting more. I would always poll them because Rhythmia, for people who don't know, is a plant medicine clinic or plant medicine retreat in Costa Rica. And we would start with 1 night of breath work. They'd go then into 4 nights of ayahuasca, and then they'd end with 1 night of breath work. And at that last breath work, I would always poll people and say, how many of you felt that your breathing experience was at least as powerful as your ayahuasca experience? And always half the crowd would raise their hand. And then I would ask, how many of you felt like your breathwork experience was even more powerful than your ayahuasca experience? And invariably, about half a dozen people would always raise their hands. So it just went to show me that they're very much on par. These tools for helping us access our consciousness are not just these external forms of plant medicines and things that we ingest in order to unlock our consciousness, but it is our consciousness. And when we actually employ the breath to access that, it's undeniable that it's coming from within us, because there is no external thing to point to and say, look, that made me feel this way. So with that, I think that a great enthusiasm has happened. Of course, there's been other breath work people out there of different ilks. Wim Hof probably is one of the most public of the figures, right, to help bring awareness to this whole field. And now And now it's definitely a large field, meaning that to say breath work, it needs qualification beyond that, because there are many types of things, from just gentle, calming breathing, to these activating things like Wim Hof does and such, to get ourselves into states where we can jump into freezing cold water and all that kind of stuff, and then the type that I teach, which I feel is really what I call integrative breath work, a process to help activate the held or stuck energies within us, so that we can ultimately bring them to integration or to completion, so that they're no longer affecting us on a daily basis, influencing our decisions and the ways that we navigate through life.
Yes, and last year I sat through 2-day workshop, breathwork workshop, and it was 6 hours a day with only half an hour break in between, 4 different types of breath work. It was very demanding. And I can tell you that at the end of each session, which was like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, we're resting for 5. The body started to shake, and I just couldn't stop it. I mean, I was moving like an automaton. And they came and they will take me and put me on the floor and give me more energy just to release any blockages you mentioned. So this type of work, I mean, at least people don't giggle when you say, do you know anything about breath work, or have you done any breath work? They don't giggle, which is a good sign.
They used to, like 5 years ago.
Yes.
But now they don't.
Yeah. Anyone else? Questions, Dr. John, or anyone else?
There's something in the chat.
Oh, let me check the chat. Would you like to know if the healing methods are explained in detail so we can follow them and actually practice? Some of them, every chapter has a practical lesson at the end, and it will give you some, let's choose Christian's chapter. Let me see, he's here. So I'll give you practical lessons. Use sound healing for stress reduction. Listen to healing frequencies. Play 432 Hz or 528 Hz music to promote calmness and healing. Use singing bowls or tuning forks. Gently strike a singing bowl or a tuning fork and focus on the vibrations to center your mind. Chant or hum. Humming or chanting simple sounds like Om can naturally regulate your nervous system. 2. Practice conscious breathwork to shift your state. 4-7-8 breathing. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7 seconds, and exhale for 8 seconds to induce relaxation. Box breathing. Inhale, hold, exhale, and hold again for equal counts to balance your energy. Sound-infused breathing. Combine deep breathing with vocal toning to release tension. Number 3. Create a daily ritual of sonic well-being. Integrate sound and breathwork into a consistent practice to maintain high vibrational energy. Morning sound ritual. Begin your day with soothing music or chanting to set a positive tone. Wind down with sound bath. Before bed, listen to a guided sound bath or binaural beats for deep rest. Use intentional sound in meditation. Incorporate mantras, bells, or chimes to deepen your meditative practice. So again, each chapter has practical lessons at the end, and you can apply them in your daily routine. Just select something that resonates with you and apply them. But again, don't forget, it's not a one-time shot. You have to be consistent. You have to have this daily routine. You can change your daily routine with various practices from the book, but you have to do it. Move your body, meditate, use sound, use tapping. Anything in the book works for your personal health. Be careful what you eat. The water you drink is important. So we talk about all this in the book. But thank you for your question. Anyone else?
I have a question. So, Claudia, what kind of healing do you do? I wasn't here for the beginning, but like what motivated you? And are you a healer, also an alternative healer?
I started several months ago. I've been activated with Arcturian energy. And
Mm-hmm.
at this point, my body still adjusts. I move a lot, especially my hands. It's very intense. So it's 15 to 20 minutes wave of energy coming through my body, which I transfer to the person I work with. And once a month, I do free private energy sessions. And everyone feels it differently based on the requirements of the body. And the energy goes and stops wherever that person needs it. I'm just, again, I'm just a vessel. It comes through me, flows through me, and I push it out to those I work with. This is how, and again, I was told that in time, the movement will recede. I'll be able to send the energy without moving my body. And because right now, when I do the group sessions, I tell people, focus on yourself, but they forget and they look at me like I have two heads, because I move and I huff and I puff, and they forget about, focusing on themselves, and they just stare at me. And sometimes they even forget to put themselves on mute, and I'm in the middle of everything, and I say, please put yourself on mute, because it affects my flow. Any other question?
No, I just was really curious. Thank you for sharing that. Arcturian healing energy. That's great.
Yes, I'm a newbie in the field in terms of what I can do, but I really enjoy the other side, which is the podcast and talking to wonderful people like Chelsea and Christian and all the other 21 in the book and 216 interviews I've done so far. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, one thing I learned today, was it Chelsea that you talked about your PMA, your private membership association that you can do your work with?
That's another naturopathic doctor who's in Canada, or did
He's
he
in
resign?
BC, yes. He's in BC these
yeah.
days, yeah.
Because, here I don't know, but I think that's probably the best way to go if you're going to practice and use things that are alternative, quote, or controversial.
Yes.
Yes,
which,
I resigned my license completely.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I completely
Mhm.
resigned. And then I was moving into functional medicine after that, thinking that that was kind of going to be my box. And then within about 6 months, I outgrew that box as well pretty quickly. So for me, it was a different route. But yeah, I'm seeing a lot of membership type stuff pop up. I know there's some big practitioners in the US who are medical doctors turned functional med, and they've gone into the membership model, which is really a smart way to do it.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And in fact,
I'm a
I did.
retired chiropractor, so it's fascinating to me what we have to do in order to do what we do.
Yes. And in fact, I did create a
Sorry.
PMA recently for my next step in this journey, just to, protect myself and my family. And that will be an interesting experience to see how everything moves forward and how people will react with this type of approach.
I think it's great. Thank you for having your book, your book. It's not a book signing.
No, but
But
you know what? For those
the book
who attend,
launch.
yeah, for those who attended and are not either a publisher or a contributor, we have a draw. And I'm going to, because we are towards the end of our event, I'm going to draw 3 names. They will get the ebook version. So Dr. John, you get the ebook. I'm going to send it to you.
Ah, oh, that is wonderful. I'm going to be shifting my show to have more doctors and medical people on it. I've been doing a lot of
Irina
spiritual
Alecu.
healers. So when I get back to it, I might reach out to some of you guys to be on my show, if that's okay.
And Kosti Gagu. Congratulations.
Okay. Thank
I
you,
will
Paul.
send you the copies. I will stop
And,
the live stream on YouTube now.
Okay, just two words, Claudio.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm contrary to what my students say. I'm a good listener, or my wife for that matter. Congratulations again on the book. The cover looks beautiful.
Thank you.
And I can recognize and one thing that I want to mention to you, and good evening to your guests. Sorry, I apologize. One thing I want to mention is the weight that this book carries. And I was listening to what Christian said before about breathing, and I recognize even I'm an ignorant in this area. So I'm dealing with some of those problems. And by coincidence, I have on my desk some sleep strips, I think they're called, and I recognize that they don't work. And the problem in time was not just the mechanics of the process. Applying these strips is training your brain to accept the process, and it's one part where you have to work with your own brain before starting a certain process. So I know if these sleep strips will help with my breathing, but definitely listening to Christian, I realized that it's more to it. And I'm sure your book, I'm looking forward to read it, will add so many people. Good luck.
Thank you. And give us a month and we'll convert you, okay? Not to a monk, not to become a monk, but to health-related issues.
It's okay, believe me, it's okay. I'm okay where I am right now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone. Expect the book in the mail in the next 7 to 10 days, depending on how fast or slow the mail moves. I'll appreciate, and I will talk to the other contributors if you promote the book. And just to let you know, I want to share my screen and show you the link I'm going to send that you can share. What is this? Sorry. Oh, what? Okay, sorry. This one. Do you see my screen? Okay. So with the occasion of this book launch, I also release. Can you see my screen or not? Sorry. Yeah. Okay. I release a store. It's called soulawakeningstore.com. So everything related to my content is here. So you go to home and you have the books. I have some t-shirts, everything, the ebooks, the energy healing sessions are here. People can book online. But the main thing for tonight is this one, these two links, the paperback and the ebook. So I will send an email with these links where you can share it with your followers, and I'll appreciate if you can promote the book. So once again, thank you very much, everyone. Yes, Christian.
Quick question, is that US and Canada shippable? Is the
Yes,
price the same, or-
UK, Australia, yes, everywhere. Yeah.
Okay.
Because either, I mean, they can use the store, they can use Amazon is there also for local points, but even from my store, they get printed in various countries. So,
Beautiful.
okay, once again, thank you very much, everyone. Much love.
Take care.
My pleasure.
Bye.
Thank you. Cheers.